why is a breakup with someone on the avoidant side so destructive? So destructive. And let's talk a little bit about how that happens. The person on the avoidant side, or someone who really struggles with communicating and is conflict avoidant, is usually going to spring it on you. They're gonna blindside you. They're gonna pull out that rug from under you, and they're gonna have a breakup. And not only are they gonna spring it on you, but someone on the avoidant side is also gonna break up with you for things that don't seem that to make sense to you. So you're going to have a breakup where you say to yourself, these things are fixable. And then they're going to mention things that happened a while ago and how they've been thinking about this and it just isn't going to work. But then they're going to shut you out. They're not going to go any further with the conversation about it. They're not going to want to talk about it, and it's going to be cut and dry. You are going to feel so out of balance. Like, you're going to be in shock. What it causes you is the shock effect. Anytime you have a breakup where, first of all, it doesn't make sense, and second of all, they don't give you a chance to even have conversation about what is going to happen next, it is a very difficult thing for you to get through, and it's going to really knock you off your feet. And so this is very destructive, especially because you are probably a person who is fully vested in this relationship. And even though we have problems, everybody has problems, you are probably never going to bring anything to a breakup. You were in it. You were in it to win it. And so the destruction starts when they come to you kind of blindsiding, pulling that rug out from under, and then leaving you to sit very confused about what just happened. But I'm going to go back even further, because most breakups with an avoidant should have never happened in the first place. So when you're saying to yourself, they didn't even give me a chance, they just came to me with this breakup, they could have handled it differently, they were so cold, they discarded me, they don't care how I'm getting through this, they are already into something new. All of this destruction and turmoil could have been avoided because you say they could have come to me and had a sit down conversation about this isn't working and we're not making it and I need to go in a different direction. They could have made it easier on you, but if they had the ability to have a conversation, they would have had that conversation. But I'm going to double down on that because that conversation probably never would have happened and the breakup never would have happened if they had the ability to talk to you about life and when it's difficult and the problems they're having outside of you, because most of the time the breakup is not happening because of you. It's happening because of problems that they're having on the other side of that. So it's really important to say to yourself when you say, they should have handled this totally different. They should have come to me. They should have told me that the breakup was happening. They should have maybe given the couple a chance. And then they also shouldn't have shut me out after and picked up with their life as if I never existed and I never mattered. Go further and say, not only did they not have the ability to talk to you about what was going to happen here or how you could actually put the relationship back together, but the reason you're here in the first place is because they didn't have the ability to co-regulate during the relationship. They didn't have the ability when little things were popping up in their head, in their life, to come to you and say, I'm a little bit freaked out. Like, this is happening. I'm having trouble with finances. I'm not happy in my job. I'm having these health issues. I'm reaching a milestone birthday. All of the things that were actually ticking up and leading to this breakup were things that they were not talking to you about. So when they came for the breakup, it was because they were in crisis most of the time about things in their life, but they weren't coming to you on a regular basis. And, because in life we have those ebbs and flows. We're going to come across some problems and then we're going to talk about it and discuss it and push through it with our person, and our roots are growing deeper and we're getting closer. Someone on the avoidance side is not going to let you in. They're not going to come to you when they're having these little problems and these little issues. They're going to hold it in and they're going to suppress. And they're going to pile up and pile up and pile up until they're in full-blown crisis, and then they come to you for a breakup. They don't look like they're in crisis, and they have it all together, and they're talking to you pretty calmly, and they're cutting you right off at the knees. And then they are usually picking up immediately and getting into that different life because they've been thinking about, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this pain, this discomfort, and how do I feel better on the other side? So the entire breakup is going to be shocking and something that you didn't deserve, something unexpected usually, and something that really shakes your reality. You feel like, did I even matter to this person? How could they do this? Did they ever love me? Of course they did, and you did. But this is how they deal with whatever it is that they were dealing with outside of you. So when you start thinking about how destructive that breakup was, it's because They weren't coming to you with the little things. They were letting everything get to be the bigger things. And all of a sudden the relationship has come to an end. And it isn't until months after the breakup, and months, sometimes years. And I don't want to drag this out too much when it comes to that, but months, I'll say months. It's usually on the months side. It's months before they actually settle from that breakup, even though they're creating this brand new life on the other side, and sit with what the heck happened. Why did we end up in a breakup? We weren't all that bad. Our problems were not all that bad, because they're usually not. And that's another reason you're in shock, because the problems were solvable. And most of the problems had to do with this person and where they were getting to in their own life. So when it breaks down to, communication as being such a big part of a relationship, this is why. This is during your relationship, you're going to have problems. If you're going to last a long time with someone, guess what? Life is difficult. You're going to have a multitude of problems, completely normal. There are going to be months and weeks that you can't stand to look at your person. Everything they do drives you crazy. And then there are times in life where you're going to struggle with problems outside of your person. You're going to have problems in your finances, in your health, in your family ties, in your interests, and feeling flat, like your life is just not where you wanted it to be. You're going to have a lot of problems in life, but the person you're with has to be introduced to that part of your life and taken on board, and like, hey, we need to share this. Like, this is us, like, together. I'm having this problem independently, but I need you to help me get through it. There's nothing wrong with counting on your person to help you through these things, because that's what we're there for when we're a couple. But the person who tries to just solve all those problems in their own head every single day and never letting you in for whatever their reason, it's not malicious on their part. They're not trying to hurt you. They're operating at a level where they're comfortable in the moment. And so when they're not letting you in, they're just compounding all of life's problems into where they're just completely overwhelmed. Is it fair? Of course not. But we're imperfect as humans. And so if you get into a breakup like this, a lot of things had to change that you didn't realize. That breakup had to happen because you were in a cycle that you didn't even recognize. And now it's blown up. It's blown up. And of course, you're the one who is suffering so greatly because they seem to just pack it up and move along. They don't. They're human too. And so after a little bit of time, they really do sit with, what did I do? How did I lose that person? They were so good for me. We were a good partnership. Then what they do with that information is anybody's guess. So if you start having that communication after, it's really important to talk about not handling those little tiny things as they were happening, and how do you do that in the future. And of course, there's a solution to every problem in life. I really do believe that. And so that's why the breakup was so devastating, because it should have never happened usually in the first place. That's why. And that's why. So if you're shocked and you are having such a difficult time getting through it, it's because of this. It's because of all of this. And so give yourself time. Let this breakup settle. If you want to have communication with this person, if they're worth it, and in my opinion, a lot of people are worth it, then take your time, figure it out, have much better conversation after things have settled. But the destruction in the breakup with an avoidant is also something that is very difficult to get over, because they are usually going to pick up their life very quickly and move it along. Just try to keep moving it along in order to like self-medicate and self-soothe. So all this destruction is something now you have to deal with if you talk about getting back together, if that's going to be something that happens for the two of you. So there's a lot of hurdles here. But love is a really important part of this, and also understanding is an important part of this. So that's why love is never enough. We do need skills on the other side, or we're never going to get through to the other side, because life is tough. Life is going to throw you a lot of problems, and you need someone to share that with. So a problem shared is a problem halved. And I wish people who are conflict avoidant and people who struggle with communication and are more on the avoidant side, they need to understand this and know that it's safe to share with a person who you love. It's so safe. It's so safe. So I'll do more on that.